Welcome to Google Drive. So far you've looked at Gmail, which is going to help a lot with your communication. You've looked at Google Calendar, which is going to help with organization. Now we're going to look at Google Drive, which handles the productivity side of your life. Whereas you've probably been used to products like Microsoft Office, Open Office, things like that. Now we're going to move it all into Google for many reasons, including just the ease of use and the ability to very easily collaborate with others, share with others, and bring it all together with Google. So first, let's talk about how you get there. The way I usually get there is I just go to drive.google.com, which will take you to the login page. The other way to get there is through your email. Similarly, the way you get to other apps up here on this menu bar, there's going to be a Drive option there. For those who have been using this a while, that used to say Documents, but no longer. Now it's Google Drive. So I click on that, or from my login page, I enter my Google credentials, and it'll get me to my Drive list. Now, if this is your new school account, yours probably isn't looking as full as mine. Yours probably looks something more like this, if you have any at all. So it's probably going to look pretty empty. I've been using mine a while, so it's got plenty. Now, I told you this is your new productivity suite in essence. So let's look at the different kinds of things you can create within Google Drive. If I click the big Create button, you can see I have a document. We've used various software programs to do that. We have presentations, spreadsheets. These three are probably the main three productivity tools that all of us use in our daily work. Forms is a little different. You won't find anything like this in a standard Office suite. It's extremely useful, and you'll obviously learn more about forms later. There are drawings. We can create folders from in here, and there are some other options as well. If you go into more, your list will look quite a bit shorter than mine, and that's because I've added various apps, extensions, and you'll learn about all that later as well. The last thing you can do is you can create something from a template. Now, it's still going to be one of these types of files, but there are lots of googly people out there who have decided to share what they've done. So if I click Create from Template, it's going to bring me to Google's public template gallery, where people have said, well, I made a birthday card that I want anyone to be able to use and adjust and do what they'd like. Let's try again. It also, there we go. And you can see cover letters, newsletters, recipes, and there are calendars and all kinds of other things you can do. You can sort through them by all the different types, but that's how we create, basically. Now, once I create one, let's say I just want to start with the document. So I create my document, and I'm going to call this Drive Practice Document, and you'll learn all about how to edit and do all that stuff later when we do Google Documents. For now, you can see it changed the name up here, and I can type and do all the normal things that I do within a document. But you'll also notice there's no Save button at the top. This is a shift for most of us because many of us have run into the blue screen of death. We've become these paranoid savers that are always kind of nervously moving our mouse up to the top of the screen looking for that disk, right, to save. Google gets to takes all that fear away, all that nervousness away of losing all of our work. And here's why. I'm going to delete what I've done here, but now I'm going to start typing. And while I'm typing, I'm actually going to zoom the screen in on this part right here so you guys can see what's happening while I type. So I'm going to start typing again, and you can see it says saving. And as soon as I finish typing, it says all changes saved in Drive. So now I'm going to start typing some more. And you can see it's saving, and all changes saved. So Google is literally saving it every couple seconds. It's certainly made my life a bit calmer when I'm working on things. But now what you're also going to see is if I exit this document, right away after I created it and it saved it, it dropped it into this list of documents that I have here. You can see up here, Drive, Practice, Document. So not only did it save it, it also put it right at the top of my list, and that's because of how I have things sorted. We'll talk later about sorting. So we can create all these different things. We can rename them, edit them. You're going to learn all that later. The other part I'd like to look at in here is some of you are saying, yeah, but I've done, most of my productivity in the past in these productivity suites that you're talking about, Dave, and I don't want to have to redo everything. Well, Google helps us with that too. Next to create, we have an upload button. So if I click that, you can see I can either do files or a folder. Now, if you are trying to do this in another browser, so let me log in here. If you're in Drive in another browser, and you can see, even though I just logged in another browser, that document's already in there. Pretty cool. If I try to do upload, you're going to see it says enable folder upload. And if I try to do that in here, it says, oh, you got to be using the Chrome browser, which you should be using anyway. But it'll say, here's how you enable it and all that stuff too. So moral of the story, we should all be using Chrome. But anyway, once I'm in Chrome, I can click Files, and just like I normally browse through whatever, I can go find those files and upload them. I can also upload an entire folder if I have it enabled, if I'm within Chrome, etc., etc. Now, the last thing I'd like to talk about before we talk about organization is when you upload files to Drive, you're always going to have an option as long as you set that option available, okay? And for that, I'm going to come over to here. We'll get to lots of the settings later. The only one I want to talk about right now is upload settings, okay? You can see I have two things checked. The first thing I have checked is convert uploaded files to Google Docs format. The second thing I have is confirm settings before each upload. I'll tell you why I do both of these. On the top, I always convert things to Google Docs format because that makes it editable for me. If I upload a Word file, which I'm allowed to do, or a PDF or whatever else, I can leave it as its original format, but I won't be able to edit it. I'll just be able to view it, so I can still print it and I can store things here and whatever else. But if I change it to Docs format, then I can edit it and make more changes that I need to make. I also have this confirm checked so that it always checks with me right before, in case there is that time where I want to leave the Word file exactly like it looks, so I can put it there and just have it ready to print if it's something I've always had. And when I convert it, you'll notice this too. Sometimes when you convert to the Docs format, you're going to see it messes with formatting a little bit. And sometimes I've had these sheets forever that look exactly as I want them to look, so then I'm not going to convert. So those are the two settings, upload settings, I'm going to take a look at right now. I would recommend you check both. I think it'll probably save you some time later. So we've talked about creating different files, uploading different files. Next, we'll be getting into organization.